What's going on, young people? This is our last homework video of the year. I've covered all the content I think you need for the AP exam. All the videos have been made. Let's wrap it up here. Social psychology, we're talking about relationships, so how people interact with each other. Only 3 Roman numerals today. We're going to start off by talking about attraction. So before we dive into notes, just think to yourself, for you, which of these 8 traits do you consider most important for attraction? Both in terms of romantic attraction, but also in terms of attraction for your friend group, okay? So there are 8 traits here. Which of these are most important to you? There's some things psychologists say are important. So the first thing they say leads to attraction is the idea of self-disclosure. To disclose something is to share something. Self-disclosure is when you intentionally share information that as you get deeper and deeper, it leads to more intimacy and deeper bonds, deeper friendships. It actually makes you feel more attracted to the person who is doing the sharing, but both people need to share together, okay? It can't just be one person doing all the talking. As both people share and disclose, they reveal more things about themselves. There's closeness between those people. Obviously, there's something missing from this list. I know some of y'all probably looked at that and you were like, whoa, the thing that matters most to me isn't on that list. Let's talk about some of the physical things that matter for attraction, okay? There's this word neoteny. Neo means new. Neoteny, looking new, meaning looking young, looking like a child. People who have like a baby face, they look younger than they are. That is something that universally people just find attractive. Having symmetrical faces also impacts attraction. And the reason why is that the more physically attractive, evolutionary psychologists would say, more physically attractive somebody is, that's a sign that they are healthy, they are fit, and they're going to be able to reproduce and have lots of babies with you. So that's why physical attraction matters for the connection that people make. We talked about the beauty bonus already, or like people who are considered attractive make an extra $2,000 a year than people who are considered less attractive. If you want to learn more about attraction, this website is pretty interesting, tinyurl.com/Jones2217. If you type that in, it has 16 more laws that mostly emphasize some of the physical characteristics that matter. The color shirt that you wear matters. Whether or not you smile matters. And it's different for guys and girls. So there's really interesting research on attraction that we'll talk more about in class, okay? I want to focus on like the big 5 laws. So first, we are attracted to people that are near to us, right? For most of human society, people married people that they had grown up alongside, that the families knew each other, that lived in the same town or neighborhood or on the same street even. So we normally form relationships with people who are near us. Similarly, we like to form relationships with people who are familiar to us. So like the mere exposure effect, the more you're around somebody, the more you like them, okay? That's the idea here. Similarity, we like people who are like us, right? We share common interests or ways of thinking about the world. And this could be related to faith and ideas about money and entertainment and hobbies and interests, but we like people who are like us. We like people who we feel like are on our level, okay? So like this has a physical component, also has a personality component, it has a status component, right? Have you ever seen someone who seems like really old and unattractive, and yet they are with someone who's like a lot younger and more attractive? Well, matching principle, you might think to yourself like, oh, like that person's a 9 and they're with a 4. If you take into consideration, you know, things like personality and status, wealth, someone who's a 4 can really be a 7 or 8 or 9 if you take in the big picture. This is what psychologists say, that money does matter, wealth does matter, appearance does matter, personality does matter, okay? So for all of us uggos out there, there's still hope because it's more than just our physical appearance that leads to attraction. The last thing is called reciprocity. Something that is reciprocal, it goes back and forth. It's even, it's fair, there's an exchange. Reciprocity, to be reciprocal, what you do for them, they do for you. We like people who seem to like us and they take care of us. They do nice things for us, we do nice things for them. That's how relationships form. And this is not just with romantic relationships, but this also ties into all relationships. So Roman numeral 2, social exchange theory. Sometimes it's called reward theory. You may have heard the golden rule, like do unto others as you would want them to do unto you. All right, social exchange theory says that we do unto others as they have done to us. This is what reciprocity norms are all about. we are nice to people who are nice to us, right? We may start off kind of giving them the benefit of the doubt, but we really want to maximize positive exchanges, positive experiences. The idea here is kind of like relationships are a little bit selfish, and that we all want to get something positive out of those relationships. And this is interesting. What this can lead to in today's society, especially, is that like people are always looking for something better. They're trying to maximize their relationships. So especially with like dating apps and the fact that you can now meet thousands and thousands of people quite easily online or at dating events, things like that. It really means that relationships are less stable than they've ever been in human history, because the brain is kind of wired to return benefits. When people are nice to us, we're nice back. When people are not nice to us, we're not nice to them. Okay, and that's the idea of reciprocity. So if there's something that you are trying to succeed, trying to achieve in life, and you're not able to get that thing, this is where like you respond poorly to that. So the idea of, we talk about the frustration aggression hypothesis, is the idea that anytime someone is aggressive towards other people, it's because like they feel like something negative has happened to them, something bad has happened to them, and therefore they are trying to return the favor. This is like the opposite of what we call altruism. So we talk about how we relate to other people. Social exchange theory is like we are selfish, and relationships are all about what we can get out of it. Altruism is the idea that like sometimes we do nice things for people even when it hurts ourselves. We do sacrifice for others. We're not always selfish, looking for maximizing our benefits, but sometimes we just take care of people because it's the right thing to do. So why do you interact with people? Why do you have the friends that you have? Is it because you just like grew up with them? They're close by, it's easy to do, they're in classes with you? Is it because you know them really well? You've had a lot of shared experiences? Is it because y'all share similar things, interests, the activities, the things you do? Is it because y'all are pretty equal in terms of your level, like, just like what type of person you are altogether? Or is it because they do things for you and you do things for them, and over time you've had reciprocity develop? Why are you friends with people you're friends with? Why do you date the people that you date? It's good to think about these things. And this takes us to talking about love. A guy named Robert Sternberg developed a triarchic theory, a triangle theory of love. You can see over here on the right the three things that he said were important for love. The first thing is passion, which is like an emotional thing. It also like consumes the body. So it's the idea that like your brain gets excited, your body gets excited when you're around this person. Okay, this could involve sexual feelings, intense emotions, but like you're absorbed in the other person. Okay, that's the idea of passion. This person is so important to you. Commitment is the second thing, and commitment, if this is about like how the body responds, commitment is about your mind. Like, how much are you planning on staying in a relationship with this person, even though you know there's going to be tough times, you're going to have arguments, you're going to have fights, you might not get along, there may be differences, you may be spending some time apart. Are you committed to that person? So you said that's the second theory of love. The third theory of love, so this is like a body arousal, and this is your mind and your thinking. This is kind of like your heart. Okay, intimacy is, do you feel close to them? How warm is the relationship? How much of that sharing is there, right? I mentioned that self-disclosure, equal sharing of information and experiences and thoughts, that leads to closer relationships. We call that intimacy. So Sternberg said that the ideal relationship has all three of these. They have the passion, the intimacy, and the commitment. That like the most powerful love he called consummate love is like the most powerful. It has all three. Now you may notice that underneath or on the sides of the triangles, right? We have the three corners, but on the sides of the triangles, there are other types of love. You do not need to like write all of these down, but it's interesting. So he said that like if you only have the liking, or if you only have the intimacy, this is called liking. No passion, no commitment. So this is like still a relationship. And you can think about not just romantic things, but like friendships here, right? You're maybe not committed to be friends forever. There's maybe not like a body arousal, physical connection when you're around that person, but you know a lot about each other. You have closeness, you have trust. Having one of the three traits is still a good thing. It's still a good relationship, right? When you have passion without intimacy or commitment, we call that infatuation, right? Love at first sight is very superficial and shallow, more based on like physical things. Empty love is when two people are committed to each other, but they don't really maybe know each other that well, and they don't have that passion. So sometimes it can happen like an arranged marriage, or a relationship that used to be stronger might lose intimacy and passion over time and become what we call empty love. Okay, kind of sad. Now, we also have these things here where there are two of the three traits, right? So romantic love has the closeness and the passion, maybe not commitment at this point, right? And like this might be what like, you know, people in their early 20s have, right? They have something they're really close to and they're passionate, but they're not yet ready to like settle down and make that long-term marriage commitment. Okay. Companionate love, companionate. This is someone who is committed and they have that closeness, but maybe they don't have the same passion that they once did, right? They don't have that like physical overwhelming arousal when they're with the person. So sometimes it's called affectionate love. This may be like people who've been together for a while or long-term marriages. These are still positive relationships. They just don't have the same fire that they used to. Number 6, fatuous love. There's passion and there's commitment, but like they might not actually be that close. Okay. So like fantasy love is what that says here. The most powerful I said was consummate love. It's like the perfect couple. And like people may go through phases where like their relationship is in a consummate stage for, you know, a year or two. And then they may have, you know, a couple of months or a year or two where it actually feels more companionate. Or they may fall into just like liking, and you can kind of go back and forth between these. So think to yourself, you know, which of these 3 aspects is most important to you? I'll be intrigued to hear about that. Make sure you can answer number 1, 2, and 3 as well. Which of these laws of attraction do you find most powerful? Why might people who look younger than they really are, why might they get away with things? How can they get in trouble less? There's some interesting research there. And then make sure that you understand this word reciprocity, or this idea of social exchange. You did it. Congrats. I hope you've watched all the videos. If not, go back and check them out. AP exam coming up. Appreciate you guys. Peace out.